And a warm welcome to everyone here. Thank you for joining me here for another episode of Conversations with Michael. This is a free live streaming broadcast that we do each month as we come together to offer our support during these rather intense times of transformation and to honor all of you that have chosen to embrace a new freedom from the inside out. For those of you that might be new to this show, feel free to visit our website at theteachingsofmichael.com, and there you'll find a variety of programs and services that serve to support any awakened human being. Today, of course, we're streaming live just outside of our favorite city, Portland, Oregon, in our own home studio. We have the beautiful Snow Peak Cascade Mountains to the east of us and the Pacific Ocean to the west. And it's just a stunning place for us to live. We find it to be one of the most incredible and most beautiful places to live on the planet, and we're fortunate to call it home. We're also simulcasting today's show on our website, on our YouTube channel, and some of you are watching this on the Ancient Wings Facebook page, and it's the YouTube channel and the Ancient Wings Facebook page that allows you to comment or chat with one another. If you'd like to do that, that's open for anyone. So let's take a deep breath here as we bring these energies in and allow them to merge and blend with the entire group that's here with us here today. Very good. And before I open this up to Michael, we wanted to share a new feature that we just added to this show that we're calling Creators in Action. And Creators in Action, each month we're going to be highlighting a featured creator to honor and to help support all of our fellow masters. If you'd like us to feature one of your own soul-infused creations on the Conversations with Michael page, simply visit the Conversations with Michael page on our website and fill in the contact form and tell us what you've got. We prefer for this venue to offer a video presentation of your work rather than just a static image like a poster, because video gives your creation a much more dynamic presentation, and we're happy in support of each other to support all of you that have something that you'd like to share, and we'd like to share it with a global audience. And of course, if you need some help creating such a video project, today's feature creator, Roman Datscu, can help you with all of that. Let's take a look at Roman's latest creation. Amazing work. Amazing work. You can also watch this video on his YouTube page in 1080p, or if you'd like it in 4K. It's just truly amazing to see it all in 4K. Roman here not only captured the physical beauty of the Carrizo Plain National Monument located here in California, but if you felt it, he got the essence of nature here in motion too. And that's not easy to do. That's really not easy to do. So he offers land and aerial photography as well as providing post-production services such as design, editing, color correction, and whatever is needed to help you provide a beautiful, heartfelt product in your own service. I highly recommend Roman in this work. Well, you saw it right here. It's extraordinary how we can capture nature now using a variety of the latest technologies and how it can stimulate the heart in a way that, well, wasn't available before. So thank you, Roman, for sharing that creation. And again, of course, any of you who would like to share what it is that you are creating and you'd like to share that with a global group of listeners here, feel free to go to my website, Conversations with Michael website, and Conversations with Michael page on my Teachings of Michael website. Click on the contact form, give me a buzz, tell me what you've got, and if you are selected, we'll contact you and start from there. If you have any questions or comments about any of our programs and services, feel free to contact us anytime. So let's take a deep breath here as we shift our presentation over to Michael. I'm challenging myself of late in working with the technology that's right in front of me. I've got 3 different screens in front of me at the same time, allowing Michael to be present so that we can be simulcasting this to all these different places. And a little challenging for my mind, and that's why my mind's having a hard time keeping up with this. But it seems to be going okay. Just need a little more practice with it. So thank you, all of you, for your patience and allowing me to play with the technology and at the same time, indeed, allow me, Michael, to be here as well. Very good, Robert. We knew you could do this. Yes. Let's take a deep breath here. Of course, I am Michael, and it's an honor for me, and I want to thank each of you for allowing me to be of service. To whom? Who are we serving here today? Are we just serving the conditioned human? We don't think so. Are we just serving humanity stuck in a polarized system of reality? No, not in this way. In other ways we are. But in this way, we are serving you in the most direct way that we ever have in terms of the angelic realm, being able to communicate this directly with all of you, having a physical human experience, being the new human angels. We're actually in service now to the new creators on earth at this time. In how many ways can I say it is such an honor for me? For it truly is. This is such an honor for me to witness, to support, and to offer my own guidance as you come into your own creatorship. The path that each of you are now creating will be followed by countless other beings who have never experienced being a human before. It's extraordinary, is it not? And we know when we say this to some of you, a lot of you still kind of shake your head and go, yeah, that all sounds really good, but let's get real, Michael. Well, we know your human self, or what you call your personality. It would prefer to actually follow some kind of map that somebody else had created to help it to relax. But what you are creating as a collective group of fully awakened human beings has no map, dear ones. We have to keep reminding you that this is the value that you are offering here on this planet at this time. This is the value of who you are as a soul in relationship with your own eternal self, sharing a presence on this planet that aligns itself with, well, with freedom, what we have also called Christ consciousness. You are, dear ones, the original pioneers on this journey, the original pioneers. And as much as your human personality complains, let's go into your heart. Feel what's happening here in your own, from outside looking in, but most importantly from within. To take ownership of what was gifted to all of life from the Eternal One, to be all that it is, in whatever capacity, in whatever form, and in whatever state of consciousness you choose for yourself. Wouldn't it in so many ways had been so much easier if that Eternal One, the source of life, had chosen for us? Well, then we wouldn't look so awkward or so embarrassed by blaming that presence for how things have unfolded, all the surprises, all the unexpected challenges. It's been amazing. Absolutely amazing. All the ways that for the first time we tasted and experienced separation. Oh, we know, and you still feel it here. That hurts. That is perhaps the most painful relationship. That separation from who you truly are. We know you've accommodated here, the human being, a substitute for feeling separate. Your own personality, your conditioned human mind, has been of service to you, doing its very best to make that feeling separate, tolerable. So at least you could survive the circumstances, representing itself as nature. It's been awkward, it's been painful for a lot of you to feel that and to see how others disregard the sacredness of this planet in so many ways. So this whole process, being the original pioneers, is very similar in so many ways to any number of adventures you could have embraced as a human being. Because there are no trail marks. Oh, what you are calling trail marks are what you also call your beliefs? Well, how is that going? Are you still in this place where you can actually trust these beliefs? Because these beliefs were created by the mind, and they're not as valid as you would be led to believe. But these two, these cherished mental beliefs, these two begin to disappear. If this journey that you are embracing and allowing is truly about the heart. And that, dear ones, can be absolutely frightening to your mind. Is it not? Are you not feeling it? You see, your mind supports its own identity and has continued to support its own identity while pretending to be you. How's that going? How is that going? Well, it goes pretty good if you choose to remain unconscious. And that's about the only way that works, is if you remain hypnotized by mass consciousness, hypnotized by the mind, hypnotized by all the mental agendas, using these cherished beliefs to help define for you what is real and what is not. And of course, this can get really confusing when you discover your soul has no interest in following your mind. This is where, unfortunately, a lot of those that entered into this whole awakening stepped off the path, so to speak. It was just too much, dealing with so much confusion. So your mind, in relationship to this very fluid nature that offers an unconditional support base, well, this represents to your mind the most unreliable support that it could ever imagine. You need to develop a really good sense of humor to accommodate both. Otherwise, it gets awkward, does it not? If you get too serious, and if you take yourself too serious, you end up getting a little mental. But let's be real, shall we? Is the mind truly capable of imagining something outside of its own belief system? If it was, would it not have done that by now? Very good. Very good. You see, for so long, you have been asked to follow what was put in front of you solely at face value, simply because someone else, and then many others later, decided for you what was real. Oh, it started with your parents, and then it went from there. Your whole world is supported by these, let's call them for what they are, manufactured truths that for the most part support a type of hidden agenda. It's not a conspiracy, but it's the way that your mind works. It's just the way the mind works. In the past, you, in the name of your own freedom, would confront certain individuals or groups in a type of attempt to try to expose the fallacy of any truth that didn't speak to your heart. And if there is that agenda connected to anyone who is speaking their truth, there's got to be a mind connected to it as well. Consciousness has no agenda. And perhaps the biggest fallacy is that God, this external father figure, actually takes sides. He actually prefers one group over another, one religion over another, one faith over another. And when we say to you, we've never met such a being on our side of the veil, but the belief continues to this day. Because what is supporting it? Who created such a belief? The mind, a conditioned mind that's trying to understand how life supports itself from its very limited linear perspective. We bring this up today, in today's session, to encourage the new pioneers, that's you, to continue deep diving into this inward adventure. One that ultimately leads to a type of personal freedom unlike anything you've ever read about. Not that others haven't discovered it for themselves, but the experience is so unique for every individual It can't be homogenized and then distributed as a universal truth when consciousness itself cannot be contained. Oh, in so many words, is that not the deal here on earth? Humanity, from their mind, has attempted for thousands of years to understand the meaning and the purpose of life by trying to contain it, by trying to manage it. And how's that going? Your past history represents mass consciousness in action, trying to manage and contain freedom, consciousness. It's not possible. And that's what has given birth to this type of separation here from the human perspective. Oh, you experience this very same separation when we all left the kingdom. We didn't recognize, it took us a while to discover that this presence, consciousness, the Eternal One, was silently existing also inside of us, as us. It took us a while to go within and not to be so distracted by the creations outside of us. To embrace this presence as being there in a very different way, not in a kingdom, what you call home, that in a way was the original comfort zone for all of creation, where all was one. And because that is the primary memory for all of you that's within each of you, you can feel it. That heartfelt yearning and pull to return to home, heaven. But the gift that was given from home itself, from the Eternal One, from the source of life, was freedom in the form of individuated pieces of itself. Earth, then, offered the opportunity to put this whole co-creation between the Eternal One, the Eternal Self, and the soul in a human experience in slow motion, to be able to see it in such a way that you couldn't help but recognize how you were now creating from the inside what was being presented on the outside. When you're not here on earth, reality and creation moves much quicker. It's a lot more difficult to actually acknowledge or take ownership of what's happening on the outside in, and how the outside in ended up being but a reflection of what was going on inside of you. Here on earth, you've discovered a new way of being that doesn't rely on life being a reflection of you. It comes with it a new freedom. It's not based in duality. And that's new to all of creation. Duality, this polarized dualistic system, is the only known reality for most of creation. That's why we bow before you. And why you don't like it so much. Because you haven't perfected, from your mind's perception, this non-dualistic version of another reality. It will never be perfected. It will never be perfected. Consciousness will never, ever be fully understood. by your own scientists, primarily because it doesn't rely on singularities. It doesn't exist solely in a linear time and space. It cannot be controlled, nor is it under the domain of your mind. It's your mind that has created the discomfort, all the suffering, because it experiences itself outside of that type of overview, all-encompassing state of consciousness, consciousness itself. It doesn't matter how sophisticated your artificial intelligence might end up becoming. Consciousness will never be duplicated by anything that isn't a part of consciousness. You and me would not exist if not for consciousness. And because of that, consciousness can't be perceived or even experienced by the majority of human beings, because they are perceiving life pretending to be the mind, pretending that the mind is them. You are breaking down that kind of separation, and it had to start first with the individual. There have been others on this planet who have individually experienced what you are experiencing now, both as an individual and collectively. But the collective experience of a fully awakened human being, well, that is new. That is not only new to Earth, that is new to all of creation. And because you have fully awakened to your own consciousness, not perfected the embodiment of it, but you have awakened to its presence, that changes everything in all of creation. Because all of creation can't turn a blind eye to what you have discovered, a new reality, one that is based in partnerships, cooperation, trust, love, one that is supported by the heart of creation in allegiance with that divine mind, one that allows any being to participate in any other being's creation as long as they honor and respect that the heart must be at the forefront of you. Not all beings are comfortable with that choice. It might surprise you how intelligent so many beings are in a variety of star systems, and at the same time incredibly brutal and savage in their relationship with other species and with their own. This is but a micro vision of what's happening in the macro reality that you also exist within. You're seeing it close up, what all of creation is also feeling. It's hard for most of humanity to believe in such a presence that is actually here in support of all of life without having to do anything to earn it, to deserve it, to feel worthy of it. All being the byproducts of a mind that feels guilty, feels ashamed for taking ownership of your life. take a breath there, dear ones. In a way, this entire human story, as it relates to the earth, has come full circle. This planet was originally a place for the creators to do what? To figure out life? To do battle with each other? No. It was a place to enjoy being inside your own creations. It was a playground. Over time, much has changed. The creators just got distracted by time itself, became distracted from the outside in of what other creators were creating too. But here you are again. Here we are again, with both feet committed to this experience that allows both the human and the divine to go where very few have ever gone before. Back to what, dear ones? Could it be so simple that you're returning to the joy of your own divine heritage? That's where you will find us, waiting for you. Asking, is now a good time for us to come into your life, to be present in your body with you, to share this joy with you, your own divine heritage? If not, let us know when it's a good time. Let us know when you're done pretending to be your mind. All of our blessings, dear ones.